Hey, this is Tony Ross for TonyTeach.com and for BigBlockBooks.com, giving you guys an update on our upcoming masterclass. We are finally, slowly but surely, recording from home, getting this done. I wanted to give an update. We've just added in Chapter 12, which includes all of the widgets, the masked image, the pan image, image gallery, quiz, coloring game, and the memory game have been added into Thinkific. And for those of you who are pre-purchasing, yes, you do get early access to all of that. I would dare say over 80% of the masterclass is now available online. The course is hidden. The only way you can actually get to it is by going to the link TonyTeach.com/PUBMSTR, Pubmaster technically, but PUBMSTR, and you can still get a discount on that. Anyway, enough about that. What I wanted to share with you, got some questions in. One of them was, can you copy and paste things from one page to another? And I am here to tell you, oh my gosh, yes. And it does it way better than I've worked with like Adobe products for years. And to get something to paste in place, you've got to do all these extra things. But I want to show you this little thing here. I've got Jack. I'm going to copy him, Command C, come over and select this new page and do Command V. And there's Jack. He's actually in the same spot. All right. I can also select more than one character. So for instance, I'm going to add a new page here. Let's go back to the original. Let's grab Jack, hold on my shift key, grab Jill as well. And so I'll do Command C, Control C on PC, go to this new page and paste Command V, Control V on PC. And yes, they do paste in place. If you want to have something happening on every page, if you look here, is the overlay here. The overlay pretty much, for instance, we did chapter 12, so we have all the different pieces for chapter 12 here. But what's before that is, hey, there's chapter 11. If you have to change, or even whether it's an image or anything like that, you can go to the overlay and add in objects. And by doing that, when you go back to the scene, you can actually see that little circle is on every page where that overlay covers. If you need to change it, just click on the overlay again, click delete. All right. So that's one thing. The other thing that someone was asking about was talking about saving out as far as file sizes. Now, when it comes to images, I almost always use Photoshop. So I will show you some of the cheap little tricks I use for this. We use like the nursery rhymes, and these are the works of my talented friend, Mr. Chris Cartledge. And pretty much we did them in an old UPA style. So what I did for this, like if I show you without the texture, it's just a very straight image here. Now, I can save that out as a PNG, which basically means it can have a transparent background. But one of the tricks I was doing when I save out, I'm going to turn this texture on. When I save out a JPEG, I added this texture. One, it looks kind of cool. The other thing is when you go to save this, I'm going to go export, save for web legacy. And if you note, it says this is 132K. Right now, I have the quality at 60%. What you can do is I'm going to drop the quality down and I'm going to keep looking to see if I see any weird JPEG artifacts. There's a little bit right there. So now it's 62. What happens if I drop this a little bit lower? Can I get away with that? Now, the reason I'm telling you this is I've gone in, by adding this texture, it hides some of those little JPEG artifacts. Turn off optimize there. All right. So we can do little tricks like that. The other thing is, if I were to switch this over to a PNG, it's going to be a lot larger. Well, I don't need this as a PNG right now because it doesn't have any transparent background. I also have the size of this at 526 by 804. All right. So I'm going to turn off the transparency. It actually drops that down to 746, but that's still pretty large. So when it comes to images like this, I just make sure I am probably going to use a JPEG. I can still crank this up a bit. That's 143. Let's see if I can get it down. 107 or 101.7. That's pretty decent. All right. So that's some of the stuff that I do. Also, if I was going to do a transparent background, it wouldn't be this large. Let me cancel that real quick. I'm going to turn off the texture, or at least part of that. And what I want to show you is File, Export, Save for Web Legacy. What happens if I do this as a PNG 24? Now, if you look, it's 143. Let's turn on the transparency. 154. And I didn't have to reduce the size. What's happening is it's not having to recreate any of that, a large part of that texture background. Okay. Last little trick, cancel this one more time. What happens, and again, this is me playing around in Photoshop, I can hold down my Command key, Control on PC, click on this little layer here, and what I'll do is turn on the texture layer, and you can kind of see the texture through the pants and different things like that, and also the skin up here. What I want to do is on this texture layer, I can turn on a mask. So it's getting rid of the background, but I can still see the texture and everywhere else. So now if we try and export this, do one last little try here. Tell this to be a PNG 24 and with transparency. Okay, we jumped up again all the way to 713. All right, so that's kind of a major difference there. I usually, again, I'll hide things if I can do it with a JPEG. But turning that little texture off, this is one of the ways I can do this. All right, PNG 24, transparency, and it's 154. Okay. Last but not least, when in doubt, you can always drop the size of this. This is pretty much at 100%. What if I drop it to 50% and it's only 263 by 402? And now it's just 57. So these are a few tricks that you can do as far as getting your images down to a certain size to make your final book a pretty decent size so people aren't waiting forever to download it. Anyway, this has been Tony Ross for TonyTeach.com and for BigBlockBooks.com. And for those of you who are looking for the masterclass, you can still get in with the pre-release at TonyTeach.com/PUBMSTR. That's Pubmaster. Anyway, make art, not excuses. Have a good one.